Yeah, thank you. Thanksgiving's coming up. Yeah, Thanksgiving break. Woo! Thank you for watching this video. 4.4 is what we're going to look at next. 4.4. But first, Mr. Newbold, thank you for being my favorite math teacher. You taught me that I can like math, something I never thought would happen. Whoa. You have been a great teacher that has taught me so much and has been so patient in helping me. Thanks for everything you do. Thanks for being an incredible teacher. Love one of your students. Woo! Yeah. Don't forget to thank your students for all they do for you. Students. Then that too. No, thank your teachers for all that they do for you. Thanksgiving coming up. Wayo. So we got 4.4 coming up here. All right. Okay, so do you still remember how to convert percentages and fractions without your calculator? So there's some good practice there. Remember that it goes tens. So that's the tens. And the next one is the 100ths. Yeah, so it goes tens, right here, tens, and then this one is the 100ths. So yeah, so that'd be 2%. Yeah, 2%, right as the fraction, 2 over 100. So give this one a try. This one's a little bit trickier, 7 divided by 4. So yeah, you remember we taught you. Use long division. 4 goes into 7 once. 4 times 1 is 4. Minus, we get a 3. And then 4 doesn't go into 3, so we do a decimal and bring down. 4 goes into 37 times. 4 times 7 is 28. So then we get, let's see, that's a 2. Yeah. So that's 1.7 decimal. 1.72. Yeah, as a percentage, what's that? 172% or something like that. Cool. So number 2 should be pretty easy for you there. Awesome. Make sure you pause me. This first page is all review. So it's great to check your answers with me on the video here. But you're getting ready to do this again, right? Cumulative test. Whoa. You're going to see some of these on the Unit 4 test, as well as some new things that we've been teaching you. So please make sure you pause me and try each of these on your own first, and then push play, see how you did, okay? Let's see here. So completely factor the following polynomials. So this is factor by grouping. So pull out the GCF there. Pull out the GCF there separately. Ooh, do you remember how to factor? So the tricky part about 8 is that 8 can have factors of 2 and 4, or 1 and 8, not too many. And then what are factors of 3? 3x and 1x. Nice. Is it still recording? Woo! Yeah, it is. Okay, so then it could be 2 and 4. So you want to try to think it through. You're trying to get an objective of -2. X is what you're trying to hit there. But the thing is that you're multiplying a 3 with this number. So whether you put an 8 there, or a 1, or a 2, or a 4, and then you're going to add or subtract it with this number, which is also going to be a 1, 8, 2, or 4, right? So you can try to do mental math and figure it out, or you can just guess and check until you get it right. So I'm going to try to do some mental math. So I want to get a 2, huh? Well, if I try maybe 2 and 4, so 2 and 4 would be 4 times 3 is 12, and minus 2, that's not going to work. That's not going to work. Erase, 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 erase. What if I go the other way? This is guess and check, actually. Yeah, what about 4 and 2 this way? Ooh, 3 times 2 is 6. That could work. So maybe 4 and 2, you guys, is going to work. Let's see how we guess and check. So I think that might work. Let's see. So the sign in the middle term goes with a bigger number. Problem is this is a 4 times 1, way-oh, which is 4x. And this is a 2 times 3, which is 6x. So really, the sign in the middle term, negative, goes with a bigger number. But what is the bigger number? Is it 4 or 6? Well, it's actually 6. Well, how do you get the 6? Well, that comes from a negative 2 times positive 3 is negative 6. And so that's a positive. And now negative 6 is negative 6 with our positive 4x. So that gives us our negative 2x. Wee-oh. So we factored it right. Woo! Does it say find the roots? No, just factor completely. So give that a try now. Give that a try with number 6, kind of a tough one there. You got 5x and x, right? Because that factors into 5 and 1. And so 12, well, it could be 1 and 12. It could be 2 and 6. It could be 3 and 4, 4 and 3. That repeats. So it's any combination of those that you're going to try here and here. Right? But you also have to multiply this end one with the 5. Don't forget the 5. You got this. Keep trying. Keep trying. Okay, so solve each function, 2.4. So we're just going to do more factoring and then just set them equal to 0. Wee-oh. More factoring, set them equal to 0. So we're trying to get 1. Pause me. Pause me. Try number 7 on your own. Pause me. So x squared factors into x and x. We know that 5 has to be a 1 and a 5. So I put the 1 down that it has to be, right? Because there's no other factors of 5, just 1 and 5. So those are kind of solid. Those stay put. It's the 6 that could be a 1 and a 6, or it could be in a 2 and a 3. So I'm going to try the 2 and a 3. Probably not going to work. Ooh, this is a tricky one, actually. Because if you try a 2 and a 3, that's going to be 10 minus 3 is 7. Nope. Or if I switch it around, 3 times 5 is 15, minus 2 is 13. Nope. So I think we are going to have to use 1 and 6. I don't think 2 and 3 is going to work. Wow. Just doing some mental math in my head. See if you can practice doing that mental math. So I'm thinking if we do 6 first, that would be wrong because that would be 30. So let's actually put the 1 first, okay? So we're going to go ahead and put a 1 there and a 6 there. 1 times 6 is 6x. 5 times 1 is 5x. Wee-oh! So the sign in the middle term goes with the bigger number, so that's the 6x. And then 6x minus 5x is 1x. Wee-oh! So we got our middle term. So it's going to be a negative there. So solve each function now. So you have to set each one equal to 0. So we have an x plus 1. We have an x plus 1 equal to 0. And we have a 6x minus 5 equal to 0. Wee-oh! So minus 1 to the other side. So we get an x equals negative 1. Now this one's tricky. This one's tricky. So we have to add 5 first. 5's not the answer. And then what do we do? Do you remember? What do we do? You, say it out loud. 3, 2, 1, you have to. Did you say it? Yeah, divide by 6. So we divide by 6, we divide by 6, and we get 5, 6 as our two answers. We get x equals 5, 6, and we get x equals negative 1. As our two answers. Wee-oh. So number 9, you got to minus the 3 over first. Oh man, I can already tell, just get a feeling here. Maybe not, but I get a feeling when you minus 3 to the other side, get everything on the same side. This is going to be the Pythagorean theorem. Pythagorean theorem. Probably, nope.
I meant to say quadratic form though. You know I meant that, right?
Okay, quadratic, but maybe we could try to factor it still. Let's try to factor it maybe. So 2x and x, and then 1 and 3. Hey, it might work. Let's see. 3 times 2 is 6x. 1 times x is 1x. Ooh, this might work. What do you think? Pause me, try it on your own. What are the signs? Pause me, try it on your own. So sign in the middle term goes with the bigger number. Cool. So let's try negative 1x and a positive 6x. And 6x minus 1x is 5x. It works. Nice. We didn't have to use the quadratic. Way-o. Okay, so then we just set each of those. Let's see. Negative 1 times 3 is negative 3, so that worked. 2 times 1 is 2. That worked. And 6x. 3 times 2 is 6x. Minus 1x is 5x. Yep, that worked. Okay, so we do 2x minus 1 equals 0. And x plus 3 equals 0. Way-o. So we're going to add 1 to the other side. We get 2x equals 1. We're going to minus 3 to the other side. We get x equals negative 3. Nice. Don't forget to divide by 2. Good job. So please hope that you're pausing and trying it on your own, because you're going to fail the test and the assignment, the evens, unless you try it on your own and learn, right? Make sure you learn. Okay, then we have list the end behavior. Right? Do you remember how to do end behavior? I hope you do. Keep reminding yourself how to do end behavior. So this one's being factored out. So for the end behavior, you need the highest power. You need the degree. And whether it's positive or not. So we have an x squared here times, we have an x to the first power times, we have an x squared. And so if we add all those powers, add them up, we get x to the 5th power. Isn't it positive in front or negative? Well, it's not negative, so it must be positive. So do you remember the end behavior for positive and odd? What's the end behavior, you guys, for positive and odd? Do you remember? It goes down, and then it goes up. Right? It goes down, and then it goes up. Okay, so we use the end behavior now. It goes down and up. We also do the x-intercepts. And so this x squared, you set it equal to 0. So x squared equals 0. We square root both sides. So x equals 0. And it's going to bounce. At x equals 0, why is it going to bounce? It's going to bounce because even powers bounce. Remember that? Even powers bounce. Even powers bounce. So then we also have an x minus 4, which is going to be a positive 4. And it's to the first power, which is odd. And so odd means cross through. And then we have an x plus 2 with an even power. What does even power mean? Off the x-axis, cross through or bounce? Cross through or bounce? That's right, we're going to bounce. So x plus 2, we set equal to 0, minus 2 to the other side. So we're going to go ahead and bounce at negative 2. Bounce at negative 2. So we have 0 as one of our x-intercepts. We're going to bounce on that one. We have a 4 that we're going to cross through. And in negative 2, we have a bounce. Now what's our end behavior? Down and up. So we're going to go down and then up. And so what are we going to do at 2 and negative 2? At negative 2, we're going to bounce. So we bounce. At 0, we're going to bounce. At 0, we're going to bounce. And then at 4, we're going to cross through. Woo! We did it. Remember how to do it now? Okay, try it again for 10 and 12. Do it. There we go. Nice. Do you remember how to do inequalities? Do you remember how to graph those? Do you remember how to graph those? Pause me right now. You pause me. Try number 13 on your own. Pause me. We're doing a good review on this assignment. So inequalities. Pause me. I'm waiting. Okay, so less than or equal to 0 means closed holes, which also means brackets. Brackets. Okay, so then we got to graph it first. We have our end behavior, which is a positive x, and 4 is even. So that's going to be up, up. Good. Up, up. We want to factor, get the roots, so we pull out an x. So we're going to go ahead and divide out an x, divide out an x, divide out an x. Ooh, an x squared, not just an x. We're going to pull out an x squared. And when we pull out an x squared, we're left with, what are we left with? So x to the 4th divided by the 2 there, minus the 2 is x squared. X cubed minus X squared is just an x. And then our x squareds cancel, leaving us with just the minus 6. And so that'll factor probably into what, 1 and 6? No. Probably 2 and 3. Pause me. You should be trying this on your own. Remember, you're just checking your answers right now, right? Okay, so then negative 6, let's see. So sign the middle term goes with a bigger number. Good. So 3x minus 2x is 1x. Good. So this is going to become an x equals 0, and the even means to bounce. Whenever you have a single letter, x by itself off to the side that you pulled out, the GCF, it's just going to be 0. And it might be bounced or crossed through depending if it's even or odd. And then this is x equals 2 and x equals negative 3. Nice. And so that's going to be cross through and cross through. So we're going to graph this and then look for our inequality. Answers. So our end behavior again is up, up. We're going to draw it down the middle there with a 0. That's the y-axis. That's the x-axis. So we have at negative 1, 2, negative 3. Remember, it's closed hole because it's equal to closed hole. So that means this is open hole. Parentheses. Okay, so what else do we have? We have a 2. We have a closed hole, not an open hole, and at 0. Our end behavior is up and up, right? Up and up. Okay, pause me, try it on your own. So we're going to cross through, bounce, cross through, it looks like. So at negative 3, we're going to cross through. So we go ahead and we go, right, let's see here. So we go down, we cross through. At 0, we're going to bounce. And then at 2, we cross through. Okay, so we're either above the x-axis for our inequality interval notation answer, or we're below the x-axis. It all depends on what they tell you. And so that says less than or equal to 0. What are numbers less than 0? Negative numbers. Negative numbers, negative y values are less than 0. And so that means below the x-axis. And then we want the x-intercepts as our answers, where we're below the x-axis. Now the neat thing is that we include 0. So you could say below, which is here. This is below the x-axis, and this is below the x-axis. So you could say negative 3 to 0 and 0 to 2, but because we're doing equal to, we can actually include that as part of it. So we'll just say from negative 3 all the way to 2, including the negative 3 and 2 because they're close hole, close hole. And that's our answer. Woo! That's our answer. So you give that a try with 14, and then determine all the possible rational roots using the Rational Root Theorem. Do you remember how to do that? So that's something new that we just learned this unit. And so I'm going to go ahead and try that and help you in the next video since we're already at 18 minutes. See you on the next video for our new lesson. Hopefully you were there in class and learned it and you're just checking your answers, right? Thanks for watching. See you soon. Bye for now. Remember, Thanksgiving, thank you. Thanks for watching and learning.